EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Martin here with your outlook for February 19th, 2019. For your Tuesday, expect nothing but bright sunny skies today. Will be colder than it was yesterday, though, and temperatures will be in the 30s. So not too bad out there. The wind won't be too bad either, as we had yesterday afternoon once that cold air advection started coming in. We will have high pressure sitting right over top of this area, and like we explained in yesterday's video, this will be a very important player in our weather for the next system that's coming into the picture, which is this system down here. That is what we have on the weather alerts page for our first call, and it is the expected snow, very solid thump of snow with frontogenesis, and then sleet, freezing rain, and then for some areas rain. And that's what we have a map for on the weather alerts page for Wednesday and Wednesday night. So this is going forward here. This high is going to play an important role that because it's going to allow for the antecedent cold air to be in place. And then as this warm air advection system moves in, and you have that warm air overriding the cold air, is where you get that changeover eventually. But initially, you have those two meet, and you're going to have a pretty good thump of snow when that happens. So this is the GFS. Just showing this for illustrative purposes. This is not to be taken seriously because the GFS is horrible with frontogenesis. So, I mean, actually it depicts it pretty well. It just doesn't reflect it at the surface. So here's a look at, this is actually early on Wednesday morning right here. You can see snow is going to be on the front edge, and then you have this wedge down here of sleet, freezing rain that's going to follow in behind it. So that's general concept is you start off with snow, and the GFS still has that. It just changes it over a lot quicker. And actually turns into rain eventually by the time we get to Wednesday evening for the entire region. And I would say that this is incorrect. Incorrect. Don't see that happening. And we're not forecasting that, and I just don't believe it. It's just because the last storm it did the same thing. The GFS, again, not very good with low-level profile temperatures here. We're in a warm air, or a cold air advection situation. I think that high being there is going to allow this cold air to continue to hold in place in the interior locations especially. So now you will have a changeover to rain here down to closer to the Philadelphia metro, central and southern New Jersey, Delaware. Interior, probably not. You're probably ending as light freezing rain or drizzle. Okay, so I'm going to take you through the progression of the NAM. This is a little bit better. The reason I'm using the NAM here, I usually use the NAM in the forecast videos anyway, but this is particularly a good model to use in this kind of situation. When you're talking about a dynamic system that's dealing with mesoscale features, that's what the NAM is designed for. That's where it shines. That's where it is used for in thunderstorms and in spring and summer for that reason. But it also picks up on this frontogenesis that I'm talking about. And this is looking at 6 o'clock in the morning. Now, this is the simulated radar, and all of this down here is actually reaching the ground, and this is snow, and a pretty good thump of snow all down here. This is snow. This out here is Virga. That means it's falling from the clouds, but it's not reaching the ground. That's why you're seeing this lighter green color. It's not rain, because your 32-degree line at this point is way down to the south, way south. So it's not rain. It's just not reaching the ground because you have a lot of dry air in place initially, and you will have to fight through that initially. This is 6 a.m. though. Probably good that the dry air is in place there. So those of you that are going to try to brave it out and go to work on Wednesday, you don't want this in the morning rush up in these areas. So if this is just Virga, that's good. All right, so at least you can get to your destination. I mean, many of you will probably bag it and just stay home. But here's 7 o'clock in the morning. These are from this point forward going to go to 3-hour increments. So still got Virga here in most areas. Just starting to come into our southwest areas at this point. And then here is 10 o'clock in the morning. Front edge of this is all the way up to about the Lehigh Valley. And just almost to Williamsport. Not quite, but it looks like areas to the north here, Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, most of northern New Jersey and central New Jersey is still not in on this yet. But you will be. Here is 10 o'clock in the morning. And then here is the next frame is 1. 1, it pretty much envelops the entire area. Far northeastern areas of Pennsylvania, very, very far northeastern corner of Pennsylvania, and extreme northern New Jersey might not get it yet. But it looks like some pretty solid snow here. And you see these dark colors here? This is some pretty heavy snow here. So we're talking about 1 inch plus per hour rates, maybe 1 to 2 in some of these areas closest to the thermal gradient. When I say thermal gradient, it's the area. You got to be close enough to the rain to smell you got to smell the rain to get the best snows. That's what I was trying to say. And that's a very true statement because nearest that thermal gradient is where you have that heavier rate in here. So you're going to have 2 inch an hour rates right before it changes over, it looks like. But for the most part, you're looking at 1 inch per hour rates, and that's going to go on for 4 to 6 hours, maybe even 7 hours in some spots. Okay, but there's a very good solid thump of snow on the front end, and we know it's going to be snow because of the high pressure in place initially. But it will be fighting dry air initially. But this is still 1 p.m. Everybody's getting a solid hit. Here is 4. Now you can see the changeover. This pink here is sleet. The purple is freezing rain. I do think you're going to get sleet, but I don't think it's going to be for a prolonged period. So here is 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Starting to see that changeover in central PA. Not quite here in eastern Pennsylvania, but we're getting there. Getting ready to change over here in Philly also. And then once we get to 7 p.m. and dinner time, it's now sleet everywhere in our northeast regions. This is now freezing rain in the purple here to our southwest. But you see the 32-degree line here at this point is way down south, right along I-95. And this is at 7 p.m. Now, this is going to move up further to the north, so I do think you change to rain here in the I-95 corridor and points to the northwest by about 20 miles. You can see that here, about 20 miles northwest of I-95. Here's the 32-degree line. Still freezing rain in the interior at 10 p.m., and then once we get to the next frame here, which is 1 a.m., it's kind of dwindling down more to light freezing rain and showers, getting up to close to I-78 with that 32-degree line here at this point, but it is ending. It is finally ending. So when you get to 4 o'clock in the morning, you have a few little spotty drizzle, freezing drizzle going on here, and that's it. But that's it. Then it's out of here by early on Thursday. Now, Thursday is going to be much warmer, so we're not going to be dealing with this. You might have some delays on Thursday morning, but it's going to be in the 50s. So I don't think it's going to be like one of those days when they cancel school. Wednesday, yeah, probably. Probably are canceling school unless you're up in these areas up here where it starts later. They might just let you home early. But most schools further southwest are probably going to be closed on Wednesday. I don't see them closing on Thursday, but there might be some delays. Just my 2 cents. I don't decide this stuff. People ask me this stuff all the time. I don't decide it. I'm not a superintendent. Here is what the NAM 3 kilometer did this evening. If you saw our map on the weather alerts page from the first call that we did last evening, I'm going to take you through this progression. Here's what it does through the course of the day, and that's what the 3 kilometer NAM did this evening. This is the latest one at 0Z, and that's pretty much our first call, folks. That's our first call map, and not too much different anywhere. Not really, at all. This is almost a verbatim copy. So if you're looking for something that suggests different, you'd have to look at something else other than the NAM. Again, the reason we're following the NAM is because of or more heavily the NAM. We're not just doing exclusively the NAM. We're doing some other blends too, but the NAM is used probably with the highest percentage of our map because of the fact that it's a mesoscale model and it handles that kind of thing better. So just keep that in mind. We are going to continue to follow that going forward, and if we have any changes to that map, we will have that updated today at 5 p.m. This is Tuesday, 5 p.m. we're talking about. So this system's going to be out of here. Again, not ending as rain like the GFS indicates in most areas in the interior. And then Thursday is much warmer, and we'll stay kind of mild through the weekend for the rest of the 7-day period. At least slightly above average or better. Again, very mild here on Thursday, so you're going to have a lot of melting. And then once you get to Friday, we go down in temperatures a little bit, but not too bad. Still slightly above average in the temperature department for Friday, but partly cloudy. And then Saturday, we're going to be, call it mostly cloudy. We're going to have a system off in the vicinity to our south and west that comes through on Saturday evening. Going to bring us some showers, probably Saturday evening and overnight. Not a whole lot, but just looks like showers this time because it is going to be milder. Saturday night and parts of Sunday here. Here's going into Sunday. We have the opportunity for more rain and rain showers here during the day here on Sunday. Not a ton of rain, but just enough that it's going to be, definitely damp and dreary during that time frame. And that's Saturday night into Sunday. After this point, we return to partly cloudy skies here on Monday. We'll have some cooler air coming in behind this, but not too terribly cold. It's still going to be near average or thereabout as we get into early next week. I'm EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Marters. That is your outlook for February 19th, 2019. Have a great Tuesday.